Hello there, I'm Joshua Cho, and welcome to J Productions. Today we're looking at my top 10 movies of 2015, so why don't we finally get into it? 2015 has been a really great year for movies. I really loved quite a lot of them, so much so that I have a buttload of honorable mentions, and I actually made this whole top 10 honorable mentions list that you can watch here, and I'm just gonna quickly show the titles for all my favorite honorable mentions.
Remember last week?
Why don't we get started with my number 10, which is kind of a tie, and that is The Hateful Eight and Macbeth. Now, Macbeth I actually have as my favorite honorable mention in my last video, but then I watched The Hateful Eight for the second time, and I really felt like it's kind of a tie between Macbeth and Hateful Eight, just because Hateful Eight's a bit more indulgent. But you can definitely check out my full review of Macbeth there, or you can watch the original review right here as well. But let's talk about The Hateful Eight, which is the latest film from Quentin Tarantino. It's a film that has some of my favorite scenes of the year, has some of my favorite performances. The ensemble is just fantastic, the cinematography, the music, but it is a bit indulgent. Definitely could have been shorter, but once it gets moving and has some of my favorite scenes of 2015, and I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it. The script's great, the filmmaking. It almost feels like a novel and a chess game, and I love that about it. It actually has an important message about hate, prejudice, and race. And it has a lot to say, and not everyone will like the way it says it, but I, for one, thought it was a great film. 4.5 stars for me, easy, and the same goes for Macbeth.
Let's slow it down. Let's slow it way down.
My 9th favorite film of 2015 is Mistress America. Now, this is the latest one from Noah Baumbach, and it stars Greta Gerwig, Lola Kirk, and it's probably the movie that made me smile the most to an extent. The only comedy on this list, and I really loved it. It's not a laugh out loud comedy, though it was the first time I watched it because I was with a crowd that really embraced it. Second time I watched it was in a silent theater, and I wasn't laughing as much. But I still loved it, and it's because I really connect to the main character of the film. She's a uni student and a writer, and there's a lot of feelings of loneliness and isolation and just creativity that I absolutely connected to and loved. The music's great, I like the cinematography, and Noah Baumbach's writing with Greta Gerwig is fantastic. I enjoyed every single character, whether it was a minor one or a main one, and I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not for everyone, but it was a movie that I felt was really for me, so I highly recommend it. 4.5 stars.
There's nothing I don't know about myself. That's why I can't do therapy.
Okay, the next two films I'm going to list off are I could probably swap them around depending on the day, but for today, my 8th favorite film of 2015 is Creed. The latest film from Ryan Coogler, who did Fruitvale Station, stars Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone, and is the 7th film in the Rocky franchise. What sets it apart is that it takes what would have been just any franchise film and makes it a character piece. The great performances from the cast. The story, it's about these real people, and that's where the original Rocky started. And then it became about the boxing, but this one goes back to the people and balances it well with the boxing, and is just really well crafted. The cinematography is phenomenal. I really loved the one-take fight scene, and just all the fight scenes were really well done too. I thought the writing was great. The score from Ludwig Göransson, who, you know, from Community, the score was fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. And it also has a few emotional gut punches too. I teared up several times in this movie. It's a great drama that just happens to be about these guys who are involved in the sport. and there's a lot of heart and a lot of love that went into the making of it. 4.5 stars from me.
Now show me something.
That makes my 7th favorite film of 2015, It Follows. It Follows is John Carpenter reborn with a bit of flavor from Nightmare on Elm Street. It is a fantastic film from David Robert Mitchell. It's got a really great idea at its center, and the atmosphere is absolutely perfect. It's full of dread, it's full of fear, but it's not trying to jump in your face and make you jump. It's trying to make you kind of like, as you're walking down the street, check over your shoulder, and to me that is great horror. Though it is about passing on, I guess, what you can call a haunting through sex, kind of like you would an STD, it's not about STD. It's about growing up, and the fear of growing up, and the unknown world that is there when you do grow up. I love the cinematography, very John Carpenter-esque. The music is one of my favorite scores of the year, and the acting is great. Micah Monroe does a fantastic job, and the rest of the cast is great too. It's one of those ideas that make you jealous that you didn't think of it, because it's so obvious, but it's so great and unique at the same time. I just think it's a great film, and a 4.5 star one from me, easy.
It could look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd.
Okay, now for my 6th favorite movie of 2015, and we have Crimson Peak. A massive fan of Guillermo del Toro, and the main problem and the main reason why this is a polarizing film is that people thought it was a gothic horror, but no, it's not. It's a gothic romance, and you're like, what's the difference? There's a big difference. From the over-the-top romance to the creepy horror to the visuals, from the costume design and production design, which are absolutely the most gorgeous things you'll ever see. I thought the cinematography was great. The cast was great. Jessica Chastain, Tom Hiddleston, Mia Wasikowska. Charlie Hunnam's the only odd one there. I love the writing, the dialogue, just the feeling, the music, the way you get swept up in the gothic romance of it all. Definitely a 4.5 star one, and it's just a lot of what I love about the genre of gothic romance.
This is your home now.
My 5th favorite movie of 2015, and that is Room. Directed by Lenny Abrahamson, starring Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay. This is based on a novel of the same name, and it was actually adapted by the author as well. And what it is, it's a film about this woman and her child who was stuck in a room after she was kidnapped 5 years ago. It's just about them, the world they live in, and how she kind of has to protect her son from the horrors of what that actual situation they're in is. And there's kind of two halves to it. I really don't want to get into more. I just want you to watch the film because it is a beautiful, beautiful film. It is a film full of love and care, and it's just about the relationship between this mother and her son, and it's absolutely beautiful. Me being raised by a single mother, I definitely connected to it in a lot of ways, and just it was one of the most engaging emotional experiences I've had in the cinema in 2015. I definitely teared up several times, and just the craft of it, the cinematography, the music, all fantastic. The performance is absolutely brilliant, and Jacob Tremblay is my favorite performance of 2015. 4.5 stars for me.
You're gonna love it. What? The world.
My 4th favorite movie of 2015, and that is Ex Machina. I am incredibly jealous of Alex Garland making this film, because from the cinematography to the music to the actors to the style to the atmosphere, this is the type of film I would have loved to have made. It's hard sci-fi, it's incredibly thoughtful, it has a lot to say about technology, about gender roles, and just about us as people, and I absolutely loved it. This was his feature debut as a director, and his script and his direction are absolutely wonderful. The cast, Alicia Vikander, Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, all give phenomenal performances. The cinematography is gorgeous, the music I absolutely love, and it was so close to getting 5 stars from me. Unfortunately, it's only going to be 4.5, but it's still a really, really highly recommended film. If anything, I just needed more of an emotional connection to it to really get it up there. But it is a great, great film that I highly recommend. It is a bit of a slow burn, but a wonderful one, and I just can't wait to watch it again and again.
It's strange to have made something that hates you.
My 3rd favorite movie of 2015 is Steve Jobs. Directed by Danny Boyle and written by Aaron Sorkin, this of course is about Steve Jobs, but it's a biopic unlike any other you've seen. Rather than follow his whole life from beginning to end, What Aaron Sorkin did was pick 3 specific moments in his life. Through that, it's not about what this guy did, but it's about who he is as a person. It's about this human being, this incredibly flawed person. And you can see every wrinkle from the cinematography, which is great. They did shot in 16mm for the first third, 35mm for the second third, and in digital for the last, which I really loved. The performances are phenomenal. Michael Fassbender is amazing, and so is Kate Winslet as the heart of the film. Seth Rogen is fantastic as Steve Wozniak. One of my favorite part of the movie is the 3 actresses that played the daughter. They were just wonderful. The pacing of this film, the music is great, just absolutely loved it. But the real star of this film is Aaron Sorkin's dialogue. And Aaron Sorkin knows how to write a script, and he did a fantastic one with this. And I love his script, I love the banter, the dialogue, the structure. I absolutely loved it, and I find this a very, very rewatchable film. I've watched it 3 times already, 5 stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
And now for my second favorite film of 2015, and I know my friend Hannah is gonna love this, she isn't, and that is Inside Out. Inside Out, latest film from Pixar, directed by Peter Docter and Ronnie Del Carmen. It is a beautiful, beautiful film about emotions, about feelings, about people. From the characters to the visuals, the music is one of my favorite themes of 2015. I love pretty much every aspect of this film. I think it's a masterpiece, and it made me cry, it made me feel feelings. Of course, it's a film about feelings, so why wouldn't it? And it has a lot to say. We can't be happy all the time. Every emotion is important, and you can't have the happiness without the sad. Every emotion is important, especially to make us the people we do become. And I absolutely love that, absolutely love the message of this film. It's an animation masterpiece, like I said, and it is my second favorite film of 2015. Hang on! Last but not least, my number 1 film of 2015 is pretty obvious right now because it's right behind me, Mad Max Fury Road. What George Miller did was create a blockbuster that also happens to be a science fiction and action masterpiece. It is a film that, yes, it has explosions, it has crazy stunts and violence and action, but it also has a lot to say, and it's also very human. It's about these people that are just struggling to break free of tyranny, and it's about gender roles as well. It seriously is about a lot of things, and there's a lot of people like, oh, it's got no story, and it's like, no, it has a very straightforward plot, but it's got a whole lot of story. I'm going to link you to this video right here from Leon Thomas at Renegade Cut. And if you don't think this one has any story, watch this and see all the story it has. It has a lot of subtext, it has a lot of story, and it has a lot of important things to say. But not only that, it has the best action you will ever see put to the screen. It has a fantastic score, gorgeous and energetic cinematography, fantastic editing. The performances are fantastic. Charlize Theron shines, and the rest of the cast is great too, and a perfect example of filmmaking. And not only that, it's a perfect example of visual filmmaking, which we need more of. My favorite movie of 2015, obviously it's a 5-star film, and I can't recommend it enough. And though I don't love it as much as, say, like Her or Boyhood, I still think it is my favorite movie of 2015, and an absolute masterful one. And like I say, this is George Miller's masterpiece.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
If you get to see any of these films and have any thoughts on it, feel free to comment below. You can my Facebook page, like that, comment there, follow me on Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, let me know your top 10s. Just write it down in the comments. I'll be happy to read them and discuss them with you. But anyway, I'm Joshua Choa. It's J Productions, my top 10 movies of 2015, and just get out there and watch these great movies.